The moment you try to own her, you lose her. Not because she's too powerful, but because you gave yours away. That's where most men fail. They chase, they please, they bend, they break, all for a woman who didn't even ask to be worshipped. And in the end, what's left? A hollow man, resentful, bitter, drained of his edge. This isn't a guide for the faint-hearted. This is war, not against women, but against your own weakness. The part of you that clings, that doubts, that performs like a circus act for a glimpse of validation. That's what has to die. Because power isn't something you gain through control. It's something you become through detachment. The Stoics knew this. Power lies not in possessing, but in presence, in commanding your space without ever needing to fill hers. You don't lead by force. You lead by gravity. Masculine gravity. Unshakable. Centered. Not moved by beauty, drama, or desire. A man who doesn't chase is a man she can't ignore. You want her to feel you without touching her, to wonder about you without you saying a word. That's power. And it begins when you stop seeking it through her. Because the truth? A woman cannot give you what you haven't built in yourself. And the moment you try to prove yourself to her, you already told her you're not enough. So if you're tired of collapsing every time she pulls away, tired of being soft when life demands steel, then keep listening. This isn't about hate. It's about control, self-control. If you're ready to lead, not chase, to command, not collapse, then listen. Because this is how you gain power over any woman, without ever needing her. Part 1. The psychological truth about attraction. 1.1. Dependency is the death of desire. You think being nice will win her heart. You text back instantly. You cancel your plans to be available. You compliment her constantly, hoping she'll see how much you care. But she's drifting, colder, distant. Why? Because you're too available. And availability kills mystery. Here's the truth most men never hear. She doesn't pull away when you're strong. She pulls away when you're needy. That anxious need for validation, that constant checking in, that energy of please choose me. It repels more than it attracts. Because what you call love, she feels as pressure. And pressure doesn't feel safe. It feels suffocating. Desire thrives in space, in mystery, in tension. But dependency? It smells like desperation. And desperation makes her feel like your mother, not your lover. Women aren't attracted to emotional hunger. They're attracted to a man who chooses her, not one who needs her to breathe. The more self-contained you are, the more she wonders, why isn't he chasing me like the others? That's where her desire is born. 1.2. Why society wants you weak. From the moment you were a boy, they trained you to be soft, to be emotionally open, vulnerable, always in touch with your feelings. Sounds good, right? But there's a hidden agenda. They don't teach you strength. They teach you surrender. To overshare, overgive, and overexpose your emotional world. And they call it healthy masculinity. But here's what no one tells you. Women don't want a therapist. They want a storm they can't tame. Modern culture shames you for being stoic. It says, the nice guy gets the girl. But the truth? The nice guy gets friend-zoned. Because nice often means spineless. Because kindness without boundaries looks like emotional submission. And submission isn't masculine. They want you weak. Because a weak man is easy to control. But a grounded man, one who doesn't flinch, doesn't chase, doesn't beg, he becomes dangerously attractive. Why? Because he's rare. Because he doesn't apologize for being powerful. 1.3. Masculine polarity. Explained attraction isn't built in comfort. It's built in contrast. Polarity is the tension between masculine and feminine. And when that polarity is strong, desire ignites like a wildfire. So what is masculine polarity? It's not aggression. It's not arrogance. It's this: a man who is centered, detached, present. He doesn't react. He responds. He doesn't seek approval. He creates his own world. His calm is louder than her chaos. His eyes don't beg, they observe. He can listen without needing to fix, speak without needing validation, walk away without fear. And that, right there, is the secret. The power to walk away is the most attractive power a man can possess, because when you don't need her, she starts needing you, not because of what you give her, but because of the space you create between your power and her chaos. She leans in when she feels your grounded core. She tests you, but not to hurt you, to feel if you're real, to see if you'll fold. But you won't, because you've learned the truth. Attraction isn't about being liked. It's about being centered. And when you become the unmoved mover, she moves toward you. Part 2. The Stoic Frame. 2.1 What is the Stoic Frame? Calm, commanding, unshakable. This isn't about pretending to be emotionless. It's about being so grounded, so internally anchored, that no storm can move you. Not hers, not the world's, not even your own. The Stoic Frame is the silent energy a man carries that says, I don't need to prove anything. It's not loud. It doesn't argue. It doesn't flex. It just is, solid, present, and immovable. A man with the Stoic Frame feels everything, but chooses which feelings get his reaction. He's not numb. He's selective. He may feel pain, betrayal, or confusion, but you'll never see him lose his center. That's the power. That's what magnetizes others to him, especially women, because in a world where everyone is chasing attention, the man who remains still becomes the center of gravity. Stoicism isn't coldness, it's mastery. Mastery over the self, over chaos, over the impulse to react emotionally. 2.2 How women test you and why you should let them. Here's a truth few men ever hear. She wants to test you, not to break you, but to trust you. Women test men to feel safe. It's instinctual, subconscious. She'll tease you, challenge your views, pull back emotionally, or even create drama. And most men? They fail. They get upset. They beg. They chase. They break frame. But a woman doesn't test you to watch you collapse. She tests you because she wants to see, can I trust him when I'm not at my best? Will he stay strong when I'm a storm? Understand, her chaos is often a mirror. It reflects how solid you truly are. When you stay calm, when you don't chase, when you don't take her emotional waves personally, you pass. You become the rare man who can handle the heat without sweating. And that's attractive. Not because you're indifferent, but because you're in control. Let her test you. Invite it. Welcome it. Each test is a silent question. Can you lead? Can you protect, not just me, but your own emotions? When you respond, not react, you prove your strength without ever raising your voice. 2.3 Self-control equals ultimate power. Power isn't about controlling her. It's about controlling yourself. You don't dominate by yelling louder, texting more, or making demands. You dominate by being the calm in her storm for you to stay centered. The highest form of masculine energy isn't brute force. It's presence. A grounded man has nothing to prove. He doesn't get pulled into drama. He doesn't explain himself 10 times. He doesn't lose sleep over whether she texts back. His life is full, with or without her approval. And that paradox, not needing her but still choosing her, is what makes him powerful. You win not by silencing her, but by mastering yourself, your urges, your need to fix, your fear of loss. When she yells and you stay calm, when she pulls away and you don't chase, when she tests and you don't panic, you shift from being a boy who reacts to a man who leads. Because in the game of attraction, the man who can control himself wins everything. Part 3, Kill the Nice Guy. 3.1, Why the Good Guy Always Finishes. Last he holds the door, buys her flowers, waits hours for her reply, smiles like a salesman begging for a yes. But she doesn't want nice. She wants real, and real doesn't beg. The good guy isn't good. He's harmless. And women don't crave harmless. They crave strength disguised as calm. He gives too much because he hopes giving will earn him love. But love can't be bought with favors or flattery. Every time he says yes when he means no, he loses a piece of himself. The truth? Approval-seeking is self-betrayal. It's trading your masculine edge for validation crumbs. The nice guy finishes last because he refuses to lead, because he needs her more than he needs his purpose, because he's too afraid to risk rejection. So he settles for silence, for ghosted messages, for a seat in the friend zone, while she chases the man who doesn't flinch when she walks away. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be respected. And respect begins where neediness ends. 3.2, Rejection is a mirror. If she pulls away and your world crumbles, it was never love. It was addiction. The fear of rejection exposes the truth. You've made her your God, your source of meaning, your mirror of worth. But a man grounded in his mission never lets a woman define his value. Rejection is not a wound. It's a mirror. It shows you where you're still weak, still chasing, still begging. Her walking away isn't the problem. Your reaction to it is. Does it sting? Yes. But if it breaks you, you weren't whole to begin with. That's your work. Your emotional resilience is your freedom. When a man no longer fears the storm of her silence, he becomes the storm. Stop asking, why did she leave? Start asking, what part of me needed her to stay? And kill it. 3.3, Discipline. Desire. The most dangerous man is not the one who chases women. It's the one who can walk away from any of them. The man who can say no to her curves, her charm, her chaos. That's the man she respects. Why? Because he chooses purpose over pleasure, mission over moment, power over pleasure. She tests you, always. Not because she's cruel, but because she needs to know. Are you a man or just another boy in disguise? A boy is ruled by lust. A man is ruled by vision. Desire is cheap. Discipline is currency. The man who delays gratification, who says no when it's tempting, who walks away when it costs his peace. He is rare. He is remembered. And she'll never forget the man who didn't need her to feel powerful, because he already was. Kill the nice guy. Bury the weakness. Resurrect the man who leads with silence, strength, and unwavering self-respect. Because in the end, the world respects the man who respects himself first. Part 4. Master your mind. The internal battlefield. Her silence isn't just absence. It's a test. Not of her loyalty, not of her interest, but of your self-control. You see, most men break not because she leaves, but because they hand her the keys to their emotional state. The real battlefield isn't between you and her. It's between you and your own reaction. When you start checking your phone every 5 minutes, when you reread old messages hoping for a sign, when your heart skips because her online status is green again, you've already lost. Why? Because your peace has become a hostage. When her silence dictates your energy, your confidence, and your drive, you've given away something far more valuable than attention. You've surrendered your power. But here's the truth: only the strong accept. Her mood is not your compass. Her validation is not your oxygen. Let her be distant. Let her test. Let her vanish. Your stillness in that chaos is what defines you. The man who doesn't flinch wins. Not because he's heartless, but because he's mastered the one thing that matters most: himself. Awareness is a weapon. Most men speak to react. Kings speak to command. The boy blurts out feelings. The man observes his thoughts like a monk in a temple. He watches the rage rise, the jealousy bubble, the fear whisper, and instead of acting on them, he simply watches. This is awareness. This is power. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Every time she triggers something in you, an emotion, a memory, a fantasy, you have a choice. You can be a slave to impulse, or you can become the architect of your response. That pause, the second between stimulus and action, that's where freedom lives. Want to know why she's drawn to the guy who says little but moves with purpose? Because his energy doesn't scream, "Validate me." It whispers, "Follow me." Stop speaking to be heard. Speak to lead. Speak when your words create impact, not when your emotions crave release. The masculine mind isn't loud, it's laser-focused, stoic, unshaken. Your silence should say, "I know myself so well, I don't need to explain myself." That's awareness. That's dominance without aggression. That's the weapon she can't defend against. 4.3. Turn obsession into purpose. Let's be honest. You're not just thinking about her, you're obsessing. The way she laughed, the way she pulled away, the things left unsaid, the false hope. But here's the raw truth. That obsession is fuel. Every ounce of energy you waste chasing her, replaying the moments, stalking her online presence, is raw potential begging to be redirected. Take that same fire and aim it at your mission. Lift heavier. Wake up earlier. Build your empire. Start that business, write that book, learn that craft. Silence isn't a punishment. It's an opportunity to rise while she's not looking. Because here's the twist no one tells you. The man who turns his pain into purpose becomes unforgettable. When she finally looks back, she'll see a man she no longer recognizes. Not because you became someone else, but because you became who you were always meant to be. She was a chapter. Your greatness? That's the book. Turn your obsession into legacy. Let her absence become the spark that ignites your dominance. Part 5. Build a life she wants to enter. 5.1. Create a world so powerful she wants and you want her to chase you? Don't chase her. Build something so solid, so rare, so disciplined that when she stumbles across your world, she feels like she's stepped into a fortress. See, women don't want to be your purpose. They want to watch you serve it, from a front row seat. You've been orbiting her, liking every post, texting first, waiting on replies, wrong move. A man on purpose doesn't orbit anything. He becomes the gravity. She starts to feel it. Your presence, even in silence, becomes louder than the guys constantly begging for her attention. Why? Because power isn't loud. It's still. It's focused. It's building when nobody's watching. The truth is, she doesn't want a man who puts her above his mission. She wants a man whose mission is so intoxicating, she needs to be part of it. You stop trying to impress her, and instead, you become impressive. You stop trying to win her, and instead, you win your day. And suddenly she's trying to understand you, trying to decode your silence, trying to earn a spot in your life. You've become a world of your own, and she wants in. Daily habits that build inner power. A king isn't crowned. He's carved day by day. Want magnetic energy? Start with your mornings. No screen checking. You wake up, you're already in control. No scrolling, no external noise. The first voice you hear should be yours. Cold showers. You embrace discomfort. You conquer softness before the day even starts. Weightlifting. Iron doesn't lie. Every rep is a declaration, I do hard things. Reading Stoic texts, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. They teach you this. Control what you can. Detach from what you can't. Master yourself. While others snooze, scroll, and stumble through their day, you're sharpening your weapon. These habits, they're not about vanity. They're about edge. And that edge, she feels it, even when you say nothing, because you walk into rooms with quiet certainty, because your eyes don't seek approval, they radiate purpose, because you're not reactive, you're grounded. You've trained your body. You've hardened your mind. That's the man she trusts. That's the man she follows.